So I haven't really talked about this in a while, actually a long while now that I think about it, and yeah, I figured since I've got new subscribers and this is a new title I'm doing, might as well talk about it now. Now, for those who don't know, I'm part of a fanfiction site called DC Elite, which is similar to another fanfiction series I'm a part of called Marvel 2K14 Universe, which is basically myself, Mount Vernon Kid, and several other of my friends here on YouTube. We get together and do DC, or on the Marvel side, Marvel-centric titles centered around our own Marvel universe that has some continuity with the other with the Marvel and DC universes respectively. For the Marvel side, Marvel 2K14, it's a different continuity following after the events of Fear itself and X-Men Schism. And with this, this is a totally new continuity where had Flashpoint ended differently and the New 52 didn't happen. Now, that's not to say some new characters from the New 52 can appear, but yeah, and some characters were resurrected, but yeah, this is a different take on where the New 52 didn't happen and the DC universe was just kind of fixed, in a way. But yeah, so in this story, in this comic, the idea is, for, as you can see right here, yeah, I'm doing a Secret Six title. Now, I'm not going to be using the original Secret Six, since they're going to be all on different teams. 3 of the members are going to be on a Suicide Squad title, one's going to have his own title, and the other 2 are going to be on different teams as well. So I was kind of tasked when I decided to do this. I was deciding to let's make my own team, and that was kind of the idea anyway. So here it is, the Secret Six lineup you'll be seeing in my Secret Six title in DC Elite. Which, yeah, as you can see right here, the first character is Owen Mercer. Now you're probably thinking, wait, Owen Mercer? If you guys know DC in DC Comics, he died during Blackest Night. He was killed by his own father, who was later resurrected in Brightest Day. In here, Owen Mercer is one of the characters that returned after this different effect of Flashpoint, and now he's been recruited into the Secret Six as a member of this new Secret Six team. Like his father, Owen Mercer is very much like Captain Boomerang, where he carries all types of different forms of boomerangs, Razorangs, Gasarangs, anything with a rang. Anything he can use, he's going to use that to very deadly extent. He's a little less gimmicky than his dad is, but not to say he doesn't have his own few tricks up his sleeve. He's also a total shit talker, and I love when I can write characters who can totally shit talk. So Owen Mercer was a character I was like, yeah, I really want to use this character. When I found out, oh, he's back from the dead? Yeah, I call dibs. So yeah. So yeah, Owen Mercer is the first member, so let's move on to the next. Following that is Firefly. Now, let me explain something real quick. This isn't Garfield Linz. This is not the first. This is actually the second Firefly because Garfield actually died. This is Todd Carson or Ted Carson. It's Todd Carson. Todd Carson's a little different. His backstory is that he was a gambler who pissed away all his family fortune through a few bad gambles, and now he's kind of become an arsonist and pyromaniac. Yeah, kind of a big jump there. But yeah, this version of Firefly, I wanted to use Firefly right out the gate. It's kind of funny because this team went through some major changes throughout its roster. But the one character that remained was Firefly. I don't know why, I really dig Firefly as a character. I love it whenever he shows up, whether it be in cartoons or comics or whatever. I just love Firefly for some reason. I don't know if I would call him one of my favorite Batman villains, but I don't know. I just love characters who use fire. What? That probably says a lot about me. Anyway, but yeah, this version of Firefly he's a little more darker, and he's a little more fire obsessed than Linz was, but that's not saying much. But yeah, he was the one character that kind of stayed throughout all the roster changes, and trust me, there were some major roster changes throughout this list. But Firefly was the one character that kind of stayed, and I can't help but thank Chris once again. Thank you for letting me use Firefly. Anyway, so moving on. I'm gonna need to do some serious explaining with this one. And before anyone says in there, before anyone asks, but DPZ, you that's a DC animated character. You shouldn't do that. Shut up, Morty. I'll tell you why this is gonna happen. So, this is a little interesting because I'm going to be using the DC animated version of Jinx. And there's going to be a backstory. Yes, the original comic book Jinx, who, if you guys know Jinx from the DC from the DC comics, she's a Indian sorceress who is an enemy to both the Teen Titans and Wonder Woman. In the animated series, however, the character was this goth chick, and that's the type I'm going with. Now, she's going to be introduced in this continuity as not a magic user, but a metahuman. And the place where this Jinx grew up is that she grew up in Dakota. So you can probably guess where those if you know your DC comics or your Static Shock comics, then you probably know where she got her powers. So yes, in this continuity, this version of Jinx, the DC animated Jinx, is going to have a totally new backstory. And will she meet the original Jinx? Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, she's going to run in, and it's not going to be pretty. I am keeping a lot of the personality of this Jinx in here. I really wanted to use this character. I used it in the Hive 5 lineup in DC Prime before that site went down, and I was like, God almighty, I just love writing this character. So, I decided when I was doing Secret 6, when I was writing this, I was like, oh my god, I just have to find a place to put Jinx on this team. She is going to be the youngest member of this team. She's still a teenager, about 14 years old. Yeah, 14, 15 years old. And, yeah, I mean, the Secret 6 had Black Alice on the team, and she was no older. So, yeah. The only difference here is that she's not supernatural. She is going to be a bang baby. Metahuman, more or less. That's what they call, if you guys aren't savvy with Static Shock, Bang Baby was the term for metahumans who got their powers during the Big Bang event that gave Static his powers as well. But yeah, I think this would be... I really wanted to use this character, and Chris was so nice enough to allow me to use this version, as well as I had a good origin, which, yeah, I decided to do a little more backstory with this character. So yeah, she's on the team now, and I could not be more happier, because I love writing this character in Hive 5, and yeah. Anyway, so... yeah, that's kind of all I can really say with Jinx on this one. I wanted to have a young, spunky member, witty and sarcastic, to kind of play off these older members who are all quintessentially terrible people. And yeah, she's a young villainess who's now, she's kind of rocking the bad girl vibe, and kind of like, yeah, I'm now stuck with all of you losers. Anyway, so moving on. Following that is the Shark. Yeah, the Shark. Not King Shark, the Shark. You're probably wondering, well, what's the difference? The difference is with the Shark is that, it's not really by much, but the Shark was more or less a tiger shark who was mutated by, originally it was radiation, but then it was later revealed by a group of aliens who could speak German. Yeah, I'm not kidding. That's in Green. If you've ever read the first volume of Jeff Johns' Green Lantern comics, then you find out him and Hector Hammond were mutated by these aliens who spoke German and introduced the German language into into primitive man. I'm not joking. Oh, man. But yeah, the Shark, for those who don't know, he was this psychic shark who more or less was super intelligent, was an enemy to Green Lantern, and eventually he kind of de-evolved into a flesh-eating monster. Still had some intelligence, but now he's just kind of like, I must eat. But yeah, he is, as you can tell, he's quintessentially the muscle of this team. He is this just wild, just gigantic savage, and he still has some intelligence. He still has some minimal intelligence, but he's more like the one team member who they're like, eat him. Where they're like, we'll just give him to Shark. Let's let him eat people. And yes, will there be a meeting between Shark and King Shark? Yeah, I didn't. The moment I had put the Shark on this team, I was all I could think was, yeah, he's going to fight King. Him and King Shark are going to fight. So they're going to fight in this story. later on down the line. So yeah, beware. So War of the Sharks, more or less. Anyway, but I thought he was really cool. When I first read of this character, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to use. I just must have the shark in here because no one cares about him, but I do. God damn it. Anyway, so yeah, the shark is going to be the following member. So moving right along. Next up is Cupid from the Green Arrow comics. Yep, Cupid, not the Arrow version. Get that out of your head. It's going to be the DC Comics version of Cupid. I figured, yeah, I need an assassin type character. I thought it would be cool to use her. She's pretty psychotic, and in the comics she makes kind of a few shipping jokes, and I wanted to use that. So I was kind of putting two and two together because I wanted initially I kind of wanted Count Vertigo, but I was thinking, nah, someone else is going to want to use him, so I decided not to go with Count Vertigo in this matchup, and I decided to just go with Cupid. I figured I would have a lot of fun with her, and yeah, I'm more than likely right. I'm going to have a lot of fun writing Cupid. Anyway, so let's move on to the final member. And the final member is the BugEyed Bandit. And no, it's not the one from Arrow. For those who are in the know, the BugEyed Bandit was a supervillain, an enemy of the Atom, actually, a villain of the Atom, who quintessentially used mechanical insects to do his bidding. Yeah, it was a guy. Initially, the first BugEyed Bandit was killed, but his son kind of took up his place. Yeah, his son became the next BugEyed Bandit, more or less because he was bored and he just felt like, yeah, I didn't know my dad that well, so I figured, what the hell, I might as well become the new BugEyed Bandit. And that was kind of his thing. This D-list villain who I was just like, I want to use this character. I would love to use this character because I know no one's going to care about the BugEyed Bandit but me. I figured there was also a lot of story to tell because he was a very little known character, especially his son, who only had a minimal amount of time. Hell, he showed up in an event, in a Superman story for one scene, and then since then he's been kind of like a background character for the most part. So I thought I don't even think he was given a name. He just said, yeah, my father was the first BugEyed Bandit, but you don't need to know my name. So I'm gonna do a little more with his backstory. And could we see Brie Larvin in here? I want to say no, but unless I come up with a better idea, maybe we might see the Arrow BugEyed Bandit show up in here, like a version of her, mind you. Keep in mind, a version of her, not exactly like what we saw in the TV show, but maybe like this DC universe. This DC universe is the equivalent of Brie Larvin. But for right now, I'm going to say no. But unless I come up with a better idea, maybe. Right now, I'm just going with the son of the BugEyed Bandit, he's going to be the tech member of this group. He is going to be this team's technological member, and kind of he's kind of got a chip on his shoulder because, well, he's kind of working with some of these villains. While they are like B-list and C-list and even D-list, some of them are are very well known. He's just a guy wearing a purple and white suit with robot bugs. He's kind of got a lot going against him, guys. So he's kind of got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, considering that his dad wasn't well known and he's barely known. So it's just gonna be a total mess for him. But anyway, you're probably wondering, how the hell is this team brought together? Well, a new Mockingbird. For those who have read the Gail Simone comics, Mockingbird was the code name used by Lex Luthor to bring all these characters together, and then eventually, second time around, it was Amanda Waller pretending to be Mockingbird who brought them all together. And yes, following that trend of who is Mockingbird, there is a new Mockingbird who has brought these six together to work under her. Yes, it is a female character. Don't want to spoil who. I'm going to reveal it at the end of issue 1 because I just couldn't, I was just like, the Mockingbird thing's cool to bring them all together, but I kind of want to have like a boss for these characters. And you can probably guess that this is going to be, it's going to be an action comedy. If you haven't guessed, judging by the lineup, that these six characters are they're not going to like each other, but they're going to like everybody else even less. So, yeah, more or less like a villains for hire kind of team. It's very much, very bloody. It's going to be bloody and funny. Funny bloody. I call it blunny. Oh, Lord. But yeah, this will be on the DC Elite website soon. I know I've talked about other titles. One I'm going to talk about next, just to refresh everyone's memory. But this one I thought was going to be, I really wanted to do, because I really love writing villains. And there are other titles I'm going to be doing, but I put them on hold for a little bit, like a Blackfire title, as well as a Red Hood title. Yeah, I'm going to be doing an ongoing series about Jason Todd later on, but I decided to put those on hold until I come up with better stories with them, so for now, it's just going to be the Secret Six and this other title. But yeah, just to clarify, this is for a fanfiction series, a fanfiction DC series I'm writing, and not like a what kind of Secret Six lineup would you have? But yeah. Anyway, so hope you all enjoyed this. I'm sorry for the length of this video, but yeah. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.